Welcome. This is Gary Sultan, Chief of R&D and creator of IOP Technology. This is not a typical resume video. It is not focused on the form or look of a resume. The internet is full of good sites that can help you with that. Here, we are going to focus on helping you create compelling content. The look of the resume may get you noticed, but the content is what gets you the job. To do this, we are going to use the IOP Career Report. You can learn more about the report itself on our website at iop.com. Just select the Career Report from the menu. You will be able to watch a video explaining the report's content and get a sample report in PDF format. What the Career Report is going to do is to help you to create a list of noteworthy things that you have done. Now don't worry about having enough material to develop an effective resume. Everyone listening to this video has done significant things in their lives. You have solved problems, overcome obstacles, accomplished goals, and contributed to the success of many efforts. The only problem is that you have forgotten most of the notable things that you have done. That's where the IOP Career Report comes in. The second page of your IOP Career Report lists your natural strengths. It is likely that these are the areas where you have excelled. We're going to use these qualities as a trigger to help you to remember and catalog your achievements. The first step is to think about each job or activity that you've done in the past in terms of the items cited on page 2 of the Career Report. We will use a sample report to show you how you might do this. In our sample, the report describes the person as favoring a disciplined, methodical approach to issues. If this were you, you would think back on your experience, one job or activity at a time. Scan your memory for a situation where you used this strength. Maybe it was some kind of complicated task that could not have been done without a methodical approach. Or maybe it was a difficult job that needed discipline and determination to finish. Whatever you can think of, write it down. No need to be elaborate in creating this list. The idea is to capture as many items as you can. For now, all you want is a list. What we are trying to do is to avoid getting tied up into detail too early. Now keep in mind that everything counts. Things that you have done in school, in social groups, in religious groups, with professional associations, and even hobby groups can be used. Employers want your capabilities. Exactly where these qualities were developed or demonstrated is secondary. The fact that you have them is what counts. For example, charisma, a kind of personal magnetism, may be on your list of strengths. If it is, you might think about situations where you took the lead in reaching some kind of goal. That goal could have been increasing the membership of a hobby group, or organizing a fund drive for a charity. The ability to inspire and guide others is what counts. Go through each of your jobs or activities using the IOP Career Report as a guide. Don't worry if some of your strengths don't apply in a particular job or situation. Not everything applies everywhere. If you happen to hit an area where a strength does not apply, just go on to the next one. Remember, all that you are trying for is a rough listing. And don't be afraid of asking other people to help you to create the list. Everybody brings their own perspective to life. What you may see as inconsequential might be important from another viewpoint. One of these additions could be the trigger for an interview or ultimately a job. Who can you tap for some help? Well, anyone who knows you is a candidate. A spouse, a co-worker, a friend, they are all possibilities. Just the process of talking with them is likely to trigger memories that might otherwise have escaped you. Okay, now you're done creating your list of achievements. What's next? Well, it's time to refine it. The idea is to make your list as compelling as possible. We want to cause the person reading your resume to stop and take real note of you. We're going to do this by adding specifics. A specific is just the citation of an actual event or outcome. A particular that distinguishes one thing from another. It can be dollars, time, dates, numbers, or anything else that lends solidity to your claim. Some examples may help. If you are citing a savings, you can include its estimated value in dollars. Don't worry about documentation. No one is going to audit you. Just make it reasonable. It's enough that you are able to explain how the estimate was arrived at. Just numbers also work. If your list includes leading a group, you can include the number of people in that group. Citations without specifics can sound pretentious. Attaching numbers to them moves them closer to the realm of fact. The same logic applies if you want to call attention to your ability to work under pressure. For example, if you finished a task under time constraint, cite the number of days, weeks, or months that it took. For example, you might say something like, completed a market study for a new product in 2 weeks. Now the reader knows that this was not a trivial effort. You could help the reader further. You could give them an idea of how this effort measured up to expectations. For example, you could add, completed a market study for a new product in 2 weeks, 2 months ahead of schedule. Now the reader can infer that you have a sense of urgency. Remember, the person reading your resume does not know you or your situation. You need to tell your story in a way that the reader can appreciate what you have done. This is not a time for modesty. This approach works even if your experience is confined to school. For example, you can cite your class standing rather than just a grade. You might say something like, received a B+ in accounting, which placed in the top 5% of the student distribution. You've just given the reader a little more insight into what that B+ grade actually means. Do the best you can for all of the items on your list. If something cannot be quantified or specified, so be it. List it anyhow. If you can talk about it in an interview, it's worth listing. Okay, now you've got the list of notable things that you have done. Those things that can be specified have been specified. So, now what do you do? Well, now it's time to organize your list. First, you will want to organize the items chronologically, in the order that they occurred. Your raw list probably follows something of a time-ordered sequence already. But you probably want to refine it by positioning your accomplishments under the job that you held when you did them. Next, sort the same items by function. This just means grouping your accomplishments under some kind of umbrella term. For example, if you worked in systems, you might want to group your achievements under terms like large-scale systems, quality initiatives, cost-saving efforts, and management programs. There are no right functions. Whatever applies to you and makes sense to a potential employer is right. If you need some help, type in functional resume on Google or any other search engine. This is a list of typical categories published by the University of Minnesota that popped up on just such a search. Here is the rest of the University of Minnesota list. If you want the reference URL that was used here, just pause the video and take a picture of the screen. There is still one more list that you may want to develop, your technical credentials. Technical credentials are just techniques and methods that you have some experience with. Basically, they are things that you can do. Technical skills go by different names. You'll hear them called core competencies, proficiencies, areas of expertise, and the like. They all amount to the same thing, things that you can do. Your technical competencies will tend to follow the functional list that you just put together. The difference is that the functions are broad areas. Technical competencies are just narrower subsets of the same thing. Like functions, technical categories are anything that you want them to be. There is no standard list. This list is just a small fraction of a list obtained from economicexpert.com. Searching the internet for core competencies will produce many more possibilities. This kind of search is good for getting ideas. But remember, you can create any competencies that match your background. Things like theft protection might not be on anyone's list, but if it describes something you can do, use it.